Yo, what's up, guys? I'm Justin, and this is Big Code Hours. Today, I think we have a difficult problem on LeetCode. So, doing a LeetCode challenge in Python, medium difficulty. It's 9,000 upvotes and 11,000 downvotes. So, probably means it's going to be hard if there's like a decent amount more downvotes. It also has a 27% acceptance rate. And I'm wondering if part of it has to do with the difficulty in the question with signed and unsigned 32-bit integer ranges. Maybe if that's difficult in some languages. I feel like looking at this problem, it doesn't seem very hard, but the fact that a lot of people have had problems with it makes me wonder. So let's get into it. Reversing an integer. So it's pretty simple. Essentially, we have an integer and we give the reverse of it. So if we have negative 1, 2, 3, we give negative 3, 2, 1. If we have 1, 2, 3, we give 3, 2, 1. If we have Okay, this could be harder. 1, 2, 0, we give 21. Okay. I don't think that will be too hard. We'll just have to make sure if there's any zeros at the end of when it's going in that we get rid of them. And if there's any zeros at the beginning of the output that we get rid of them. Anyways, let's hop into it. So first off, let's just start with the fact that if it is not within this range, so essentially if it isn't a 32-bit integer, then we need to return 0. So let's just start by saying if x, let's give it a better name. Okay, so our reverse num is, so we want it to be greater than negative 2 to the power of 31. Yes. And if the reverse num is less than 2 to the power of negative 31 minus 1, then we can continue, do whatever we need to do, else we'll return 0. Probably a better way to write that, but at least for now, we're just going to roll with it. So if it's within the range, we'll do our stuff. Otherwise, we're returning 0. So first things first, I think we're just going to want to turn this into a string, I think. So let's do string of num equals a string of the reverse number. Okay, and then I want to say, you know what, before we do that, actually, let's go ahead and just say for I in, so let's iterate through the list, because if it's a negative, it's a negative number, then we're going to want to, let's just add a value here that says it's negative equals false. If reverse num is less than 0, then is negative equals true, right? That way we just know if it's negative or not. Oops, did not mean to save that. So, okay, so for I in a reverse number, we are going to say if I dot is digit. I have to look it up real quick. Is digit. I'm trying not to look up too much stuff, but I want to make sure I'm. So dot is digit. So I was right the first time I did that. Okay, just making sure. So if I dot is digit, was that capitalized or not? Is digit is not capitalized. Okay. So I dot is digits. So if it is a digit, so if it is a number, think Is that how that works? Then we will go ahead and add it to our string. I would like to go ahead and add it in reverse order from the get-go. We can just do that later. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal. We'll just do that in a sec. Probably be more efficient to do it here, but I'm just going to go through this easy so we're not getting confused by anything. So let's call this call it list. And of, not or. So we'll go ahead and append I. That should give us a list of the numbers, and then I'm going to say for I in list of num first. It's a nice function. I've used it in a couple of our videos. Reversed is always very helpful. We'll just do string of, actually, call this a return list of num. Again, there's definitely more efficient ways to do this. I'm just going to do whatever is easiest for me at the moment. So we'll append I. Great, so that should append it in a reverse order. And first it checks if it's a digit, then it appends it in a reverse order. And then we will want to say, okay, so then we're going to want to make a string. So string, see ya. So, yeah, so we'll append it to, yes, okay, then I want to get rid of the zeros. Okay, I need to get rid of the zeros. So if there's a zero, well, actually, I don't know if there's a zero at the beginning. They probably wouldn't. They're probably not going to put a zero at the beginning of a number, but they might. But I also wonder if there is a zero at the beginning of a number, we should probably include it. So we should probably only be getting, right, I'm saying that because of here. It says like 120 and it's actually 21. That's because it's gonna, when it gets flipped, it's gonna be 0 to 1. Which now that I'm thinking about, that isn't gonna matter. We're not gonna have to get rid of the zeros because those will be gotten rid of on their own. So this can actually just be a string. I'm making it a string just because it'll be easier to add in than, well, actually, no, I don't, contemplating whether I need to actually make this as, do any stringifying to it at all. I don't know, for some reason it seems like it'll just be easier if it's a string. So let's stick with that. So we have our list of numbers. We're going to reverse that list, and then do plus equals with strings here. So we'll add them in reverse order, and then we'll say if is negative, then then equals negative plus, yeah. And then we should just be returning the int of that. I feel like that's not gonna work, like for sure. No shot. Okay, so, oh, what is happening here? Somehow I typed if. You guys probably saw that and we're like, what is he doing? So, okay, so, oh yeah, int object not iterable. Oh yeah, oh that's why I was running the string. Yeah, you can't iterate through an integer. Yeah, that shouldn't matter if we make this a string. I don't think, I'm trying to think how that could possibly matter. So we're iterating through it as just a string. I think dot is digit. Still, it's tough. I'm not using, I don't have like, well, I could pull up the terminal, but I'm not going to. I think dot is digit will still, I'm doing dot is digit because I don't want it, you know what? We're gonna just append, we don't even need dot is digit. I'm pretty sure that is digit is totally fine. Let's just say if it's a negative symbol, um, then we don't add it. That's like the same thing, right? Oh boy. So for some reason it did it right, but for some reason it made it a negative? What? Oh, it would help if I said less than 0 instead of greater than 0. Worked the opposite of how it was supposed to work, which makes me feel like these test cases are going to be correct. They are. So 1, 2, 3 is 1, 2, 3. Negative 1, 2, 3 is negative 3, 2, 1. And 120 is 21. I feel like this would work for a majority of cases, but I feel like they're going to throw in it. They'll run like, I don't know if you know, the LeetCode, they do like 1,000 test cases sometimes. So I feel like there's going to be a test case when I submit it that I'm not going to pass. I'm really hoping it doesn't. Yeah. Okay. So, oh. Okay. Yes. I didn't understand. Well, no. Okay. Yes. Okay. I thought they were saying if the input number was between these two values, return 0. It's saying even if you convert it and then it still is like that. Okay, let's do this instead. Move this back. I am gonna grab you. Um, so what we're going to do is I'm just gonna do a one-liner here. Hopefully that's not confusing to you guys. Essentially a one-line if statement. It says if our return, make sure this is an int. Okay, so if our return number, same thing. So if our return number is greater than the lowest boundary it can be for 32-bit integer, and if it is less than the highest limit it can be for a 32-bit integer, then it returns this. So that's what it is. So it says the if statement, and then this is what it will return if that's true. Else, then you write what it returns if that's not true, and I have a colon here, which I don't need. Let's see if that works. Okay, awesome. That beat almost no one in memory. That's because I used a lot of for loops and a lot of variables. Honestly, a lot of this stuff could have been done probably in just a couple of lines, like for sure. But again, I'm not trying to like perfect it for you guys. I'm just going through a blind, so obviously it could be perfected, and it did okay on time, I guess. It wasn't too slow. Um, but yeah, honestly, again, some of these have such a low acceptance rate, and I kind of wonder why, because that one wasn't too hard, I didn't think. As usual, I'll go ahead and run through it with you guys. I think I've explained this one pretty well, but we'll go through it just in case. So, set our variable, a new variable, because I don't know, I hate using just like X and stuff like that. I just don't like it. Checking if the number is negative. If we start just with the basis of false, and if it is negative, then we change that to true. We go ahead and make an empty list of numbers. We run through our x variable, which is in reverse num. We run through it. It has to be as a string, right? Because int cannot be an iterable. So we run through a string of it. If there's a negative sign, we don't add the negative because we don't want that in there. We append. So essentially, we just append, which I could have totally put this reversed right here. That's fine. So yeah, essentially we just run through our numbers and we add them to a list. That's all we're doing here, except for the negative. Probably, oh, I actually could have done this such a better way. See, that's part of it. I could just dot replaced the negative sign with nothing. So that was dumb. That's okay. And then then we're gonna make a return string. Then we're gonna loop through the list of our numbers in reversed order, and then we're just gonna add them to our string. This could have been a one-line expression. Totally done that in one line, and probably with less stuff going on here. So pretty simple. I mean, essentially we're just gathering the numbers, getting rid of the negative sign, reversing the numbers, and then saying if is it negative. If it is, then add a negative sign to the front, and then essentially convert them all to ints. So it's a string that says like -321 in a string, but we convert it to an integer. We just check if it's in the boundaries. If it is, then we return our reversed integer. Otherwise, we return 0. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think that was very hard, especially for a medium level question. So you guys let me know what you think. Again, I appreciate you guys watching so much. Please feel free to like and subscribe. That would be awesome. Also, feel free to leave me any kind of comments or any uh, challenges that you want me to do on LeetCode. There's probably some I cannot do, but I'll definitely try to do ones that you guys let me know of. Also, just any other kinds of content that you guys want to see, just let me know. Or if there's something you're trying to figure out on a project or something, let me know. Hit me up in a comment. So that'd be great. As always, thank you guys. I appreciate you so much. Have a great day.